Gremlin's entire culture is based on copying humans. When the first breach opened, the little green creatures began observing humans and taking on many of their characteristics and practices. Some humans even traded them things like clothing in order to get their help in exploring the bayou. This caused the gremlins to prize any clothing they could get their hands on, and they began trading it to each other and using it as a sign of prestige and power. Some gremlins got the impression that the human with the biggest hat who talked the loudest was always their leader, and so hat size became a symbol of gremlin power across the whole bayou. Some other things that they picked up from the humans were language, the idea of farming, the use of last names, and the distilling of alcohol. Once the breach closed, gremlin society evolved based on their brief contact with the humans, and the lack of access to more clothing caused a great amount of infighting and conflict over their prized possessions. The gremlins raided supplies left behind by the humans and created makeshift buildings and tried to reverse engineer some of the humans' technology. The gremlins had always had an adversarial relationship with the pigs that were native to the bayou. As the two apex predators, they kept each other's populations in check until the balance was tipped by gremlins getting access to human weapons. Now they've begun domesticating the powerful animals, and not only use them for food, but also in battle, as a mount or a weapon in and of themselves. However, they haven't been completely domesticated, and it's still common for a gremlin to fall prey to a hungry pig. Gremlins are also known to hunt for gators, often by blast fishing, or throwing explosives in a body of water to stun the gators before moving in for the kill. They also eat chicken eggs, though the large chickens of the bayou have evolved a tendency to be very violent towards any gremlins they see. The bayou also grows a variety of mushrooms, many of which are edible, though the gremlins have to identify the poisonous ones through trial and error. While gremlins are superficially similar to humans, there are many significant differences. Gremlin mothers stay pregnant for 5 months and can have up to 20 children in one litter. Their male offspring are 10 times more common than their female offspring, and the mothers are often unable to look after such a large group of children, so some get neglected. They often choose favorites, usually the daughters due to their rarity, and any who are neglected have to strike out and try to survive on their own. As a result, few gremlins survive to adulthood. If they are lucky enough to survive, once they reach the age of 6, they usually have to go through some sort of coming-of-age trial, the nature of which will be dictated by their community or family group. Gremlins are rarely monogamous, and as a result, most children don't know who their real father is. On the other hand, gremlin weddings are a celebrated occasion, mostly because it's an excuse for everyone to get together and get drunk. But both families often immediately forget who's actually married, as one individual simply joins the other family. Gremlins aren't even particular about who they marry, and some have been known to marry pigs, rocks, or even humans. It's rare for a gremlin to live through the age of 40, often dying of old age before then, but the average lifespan of a gremlin is much shorter due to their violent nature. Gremlin settlements are run by a boss. This is typically the person with the biggest hat and who speaks the loudest, and in the case of particularly powerful bosses, they may be in charge of multiple gremlin settlements. They will often employ lieutenants to carry out their bidding and enforce their power, and most bosses and lieutenants are male, as the females are too busy rearing their young. But most gremlins are very fond of their mothers, so women can still wield a considerable amount of unofficial power. Gremlins don't have the same relationship with rules or laws that humans do. Violence is quite common in the bayou, and it's considered the responsibility of every gremlin to defend themselves as well as their possessions. If a gremlin has something particularly valuable, and it gets stolen, it will often be considered the owner's fault, as they failed to protect their possession. Gremlins will often use a strategy of not getting caught to avoid being punished for their wrongdoing. In the event that they are caught, they could be in store for a punishment anywhere from a slap on the wrist to a bullet to the head. As a result, they will often try to find a scapegoat for their wrongdoing, placing the blame on someone else, or trying to distract their family long enough that they'll forget. But some members of gremlin society are somewhat insulated from these punishments, such as the girls, as well as the elders. Making moonshine has become a favorite pastime of the gremlins, after having learned the process from their contact with the humans. Gremlins prefer their alcohol to be at least 50% ABV, or 101 proof. This makes it extremely powerful, and the guild has outlawed it to protect people from the potential danger. This has caused an underground black market for the substance, and its rarity has caused it to become more expensive, encouraging more smugglers to bring the genuine article back to Malifaux City. The guild views the gremlins as more of a pest than a real danger, and as a result, they've put a 2-script bounty on their heads, leading to some people who make a living by hunting the poor creatures. While many gremlins are known for raiding human settlements and convoys, some gremlin-human interactions are more peaceful. Trade has been known to take place between the gremlins and the humans, especially those that live along the border of the bayou, in places like Edge Point. A Bayou Bash is a popular cultural practice for the Gremlins. These events take place over many days, and are somewhere between the Olympic Games, a frat party, and a brawl. They take place a few times a year, and when a family decides that they want to host the Bayou Bash, they spread the word around the entire bayou. Everyone sends their representatives, who compete in drinking contests, races, banjo duels, and piglet wrestling. Violence is expected at the Bayou Bash, and some Gremlin bosses will even send the undesirables among their family, in hopes that they won't return. There's a popular game among the Gremlins, known as Bullet. In Bullet, the participants play a hand of cards, and all of the losers have to drink a flask of alcohol supplied by the winner. Finally, all participants have to check their marksmanship by shooting a bottle off a wall. Any who miss their bottle are automatically disqualified from the game. They then repeat the process until only one player is standing, either because their opponents were eliminated from missing the bottles, or have passed out, or died of alcohol poisoning. That's all I've got for now on the Gremlins, but let me know if there's another topic in the Malifaux universe that you'd like to see me do a short video on like this in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and consider sharing the video around with some friends who you think might find it interesting. Check out all the important links in the description, and I want to send a huge thank you to the extremely cool kids tier on Patreon, the Steam Powered Scoundrels, Dogmatized, Devin, and the Spilled Paint Pot. And thanks for watching.